Again, take two. If you don't like tank tops, skin, sports bras, or yoga pants, this live probably isn't for you. We're talking about manifestation today, manifesting your best life through emotion code healing. Emotion code is going to be something that can literally change your life. Super amazing. This is my journal, and Lindsay wrote this whole portion, not the code, but about emotion code. She's been doing emotion code for a while, and she's absolutely amazing. Emotion code is magic. So people are having blockages with, hi, there's no sound? Guys, is there sound on here or what? Never mind. Okay. I was going to say, if you can't hear my big mouth, then we got some problems. Okay, let's see if we got Lindsay in here. Lindsay, are you in here? Perfect. Let's try it. Let's try it again. This is wild.
Yay, finally.
Linz, but I can't see you.
Oh no.
It's okay. I guess we're gonna have to just live with that, I guess.
Oh, dang it. Hang on a second.
Can you imagine? I only see myself on the screen. Everybody's gonna say that they could see you, but I can't see you. I could just hear you.
I can see us both. Hang on a second.
This is so annoying.
Well, that's so weird.
It is so weird.
Okay. So last night when I get the message from you, I swear you told me this. I'm going to have to go back and listen to it. You said 11 o'clock. And
No.
I am like an hour.
Oh, no. I said 11 o'clock about us getting on a phone call.
Oh.
Because I have a call with Gary at 11, which is, I think, I don't know what time your time.
Because I thought you were going live with him at but then I did that time different. Okay, so that's why I'm late. I'm sorry.
I'm really annoyed right now that I can't see you, but everybody else can see you, so I guess we're just gonna have to deal with that.
Yeah, so I'm kind of like a little hot.
Okay.
I mean, you'd probably say I look fine.
I wish I could see you so I could say. Now, the crazy thing is when I upload this, you're probably going to be on the screen.
Oh,
but for me right now, it's literally nobody, just me.
That's so crazy.
Yes. So tell us about emotion code and how it can help with manifesting your greatest reality.
Okay. So you do talk a lot about manifesting, which is incredible. And that's what this morning is all about. So were you been waiting for me for 30 minutes or have you been talking about other things? Okay,
no.
Good. So to me, it's like such a, one of the foundational things, because we always talk about our thoughts and how, we can write stuff out and visualize it. And yes, we can do all those things, but the conscious is what's really in charge of the future. So whatever's going on in the subconscious, that energy is what's like driving the car. So
Right.
creating what's coming out in front of us, our perspective. And so we've got the subconscious to deal with. And so this is like a lot of the research that I was doing, and I just kept going back and I said, okay, but what's the root? What's the root? And so I just kept going backwards to find the root. And there's a lot of therapies out there that can get to the root. I mean, even just regular old counseling. But what I felt like through a counseling session is that a lot of times it takes a lot of sessions to get to maybe a revelation you have. And then by the end, you're like, oh, well, I'm this kind of person, and this is where it came from. But what I love about emotion code and body code, and there's a lot of different codings out there now. And basically we've are able to crack the code, which I think is incredible. And so now I have several different charts, and through muscle testing, which anybody can learn, you can tap to the subconscious, and the subconscious will tell you exactly where it comes from specifically. So it's as simple as you asking the question. Let's say you want to manifest more money in your bank account, or you want to manifest a better job, whatever it is, or you want to manifest no pain in your knees, And so where it goes hand in hand also with the patches. But to specifically tie it into manifesting, you can set the intention or the container, and then you can find all of the trapped emotional energy and the age that it was trapped that's connected to that question. So let's just, what's the question you want to start with? And we'll just start there. Or like somebody might have, maybe they want to put a question in or something.
Someone asked how I can attract more abundance.
I mean, we've done this on a live before, and we've released blocks that would keep somebody in the way of attracting financial abundance on live so that people could come to the retreat or whatever it was. So basically, we can muscle test for that person, no matter who they are or where you are.
That was Chantel. Chantel is her name.
Chantel? Okay.
Yes.
So, can you find Chantel? Can you tell us how old you are?
Oh yeah, Chantel. What's your age, love?
And that's why, like, something like this is so important. And you can add to that if you want, because I know, like, even with this stuff, like Neville Goddard and like different people we talk about, they talk about your subconscious and your trapped energy, but from what they talk about even back then, I don't know if there necessarily was a way that you could connect the dots yet and go back into that place. And I mean, I know that there's like old ways to do it, but I feel like this is something that is very efficient and effective, and it's something that you could learn how to do too. So,
and you could pinpoint these directly, you know, like Neville just it's kind of blanket, where I was talking about going from one state to the next. It's like Lindsay lives in Arkansas, but if Lindsay moved to, Florida, Lindsay's moved to a different state. And it's the same thing with your mind, is Lindsay can't live in her old state in her old house if she wants to move to a new state. All of Lindsay's things are now in Florida. And it's the same thing with the subconscious mind. If you live in the old state of mind, you can't live in Florida at the same time where your new state of mind is. So whatever your dominant state of mind is what manifests into your reality. But what I like about emotion code is, like, it literally gives you very, very specific emotions that can be holding you back and from what age. And you can not immediately, but very quickly kind of say, oh, I remember that this happened to me when I was 10. I remember this happened to me when I was 16.
Yes.
And it's just very, very interesting.
I didn't see, but I could go ahead with Chantel. I didn't see her age on here.
Okay.
If past me. Okay. So I'm in Arkansas. It's a little bit earlier here, and that's late. Sorry, guys. But
that's okay, Liz.
Like, we could say, what is one of the blocks that's keeping you from financial abundance or something like that? And you ask the question you want to set the container, and then I would say, like, is there more than one, more than two, more than three? I can keep going to see how many there are. And then like, I would say the first one, and then I would find the row, find the column, odd, even, 2, 1. And so it would be, let's see. I'm muscle testing right now.
Okay. Are you doing it with this one, Linz?
Yeah. Okay. I had it in front of me. So it would be failure at 20 years old. So one, and that makes sense to me. And a lot of times for financial abundance, that age comes up because you think about, like, college age, right? And you're graduating college or you're going to college, you're starting to kind of do things on your own, and you may not have the support you need anymore from your parents, or you may not have ever had that, but usually around age you're struggling financially. Or it could have been just a belief, that you held. There's also, you can go into code and things like that, like, I'm not worthy or something like that. And then you just find all the emotions that are attached to that and the age that they were attached. And this is the other part about it that's really special, is that in that moment that you find that emotion in that age, it connects you to that self, that inner child. And so when you're immediately connected to that inner child, whether you really do anything or not with it, you're still alchemizing that energy. So the energy is being shifted and alchemized in that moment. And it's almost like
Amazing.
it's that kid that, let's just say for in her sake, that 20-year-old that had that emotional trauma. It could have been a very heavy thing, it could have been hard, or it just could have been like something simple that happened, like she used her ATM card and it didn't work and it was a failure. So it could have been something like that, even that
Right.
a subtle energy. You wouldn't think it was a big deal, but it got trapped in the subconscious, in the body somewhere. And that failure of that card not working or
Right.
whatever it was,
Right.
and maybe combined with like a humiliation, like of I need to borrow money from somebody else.
Right.
Uh, that alone could have been a trauma that connected her to what's going on now with her not being able to like get the money that she needs for something,
Mm-hmm.
or just flow. Because you in your manifesting techniques would be like, imagine that ATM and you putting your card in, you getting whatever you can out, or
Yeah.
imagine having a limited bank account and you could spend money on whatever you need to or whatever you want and not have to worry about where it's coming from necessarily. So there's a lot of ways that now you can combine these two, or like whatever methods that you give them to actually get to the root of why I feel like a failure in this department or whatever.
Right.
So
Right.
that 20-year-old's coming to the surface and she's like, wow, oh my gosh, like I didn't realize that that's what happened. And now you see me as a present self, as an adult, you see me and hear me and you love me in that moment because you're present with that inner child or that trauma. And that's when it actually shifts and is alchemized to a higher frequency.
Mm-hmm.
And,
And that,
and
go ahead.
ahead.
No, go ahead.
I just think it so sounds so easy, and
Yeah.
I think that that's the way it's supposed to be. This just allows us to
Totally.
find act,
Yeah.
the existing. Otherwise, we just keep going through our life, letting our subconscious, drive, and we're just in the passenger seat, like, where are we going today?
Exactly.
And that's not what we want, because I think what happens is like we want to take the wheel and we're just like, okay, this is where I want to go today and this is what I want to do and this is what I want to happen, but still the subconscious is like, nope, sorry, I'm driving still, until you figure out
Exactly.
what it is that's causing this.
Mm-hmm.
And it just takes your presence. That's all it takes. So yeah, the emotion code chart, like anybody can learn how to muscle test, and anybody can do that. Of course, we do like longer sessions focused on the
Yeah.
heart. There's a lot more work involved in like a full session, but I think on a daily basis, if you learned like those two things, because that emotion
Yeah.
coach is online, oh, somebody, Katie, I don't know, it's the mindset,
You're
and
not
for
like
some reason,
anyone with fear mindset, but for some reason I keep attracting friendships with people that are controlled by fear. How can I attract higher vibing souls?
mm-hmm. So that is something that you could do. You just set the container. So that's beautiful. And I think a lot of times, like in a lot of therapies, will even say like that awareness is the main part of this. It's like the number one thing. It's like being aware of like what you need and what you desire and actually what's happening. So
Mm-hmm.
many people, you don't even know that they're attracting that. They were just,
Right.
why am I keep getting these people over and over and over again? Well, they're all there as a mirror. They're all there to teach you something. And it might have to do with your own fear or something like that. So, Katie, I would just set that container and then we would do a whole session based around that, like
Mm-hmm.
the around that and everything else. So for you, I'll just find like one emotion that deals with that right now, just to see if we could read that for you. So, be even. Okay. Okay, so frustration at 9 years old came up. So,
Ah.
um, yeah. So you'll know, Katie, if you remember, a lot of people are like, "Oh, I have an awful memory. I don't remember anything." And honestly, it doesn't even matter if you remember because your
Yeah.
subconscious knows and you brought it to its awareness and it's healing that energy right now, whether you have a memory or not, which is also very cool about it. But you can kind of see how it's like you can almost tell a story even from frustration at 9 years old, you know, with a friend who, like, maybe that's when somebody came into your life in the very beginning that was like, you know, afraid of everything, and they couldn't go on the roller coaster with you because they were so afraid, and so you were frustrated at them, you know. And
Hmm.
then from that point on, with all the other trapped emotions around that age, you began to keep attracting people um, that were controlled by their fear or something like that. So I don't know if that makes sense. But if I do this for anybody too, and you're like, oh, yeah, that totally makes sense.
Yeah. So
This,
this, I really like this method of it because the last live, obviously, I was talking about ways to reprogram the subconscious, and like this is so incredibly specific that it would just help us pinpoint, like, wow, okay, this I totally remember when this happened to me, and it just all kind of brings all the puzzle pieces together, and they all fit so well, and then it's literally like Lindsay said, alchemized so that you have the freedom to now welcome new things and you don't come from that belief system anymore. If you have pain that's stuck and trapped somewhere, it could be a trapped energy there. And once it's alchemized, again, it just kind of flows out, and then you have room to welcome new ideas, manifestations, vibrations. For some of us, we're so trapped in these emotions that are stuck in us, like we can't attract the things that we want because there's no room to do that. So
yeah.
a lot of people that have all these traumas, they just don't have the room to really bring anything because they literally live, like Lindsay said, your subconscious is in the driver's seat. It's driving you around. Your conscious mind is in the passenger seat. If you're in the passenger seat, you don't really have control over the car. The subconscious does, or the driver does.
Mm-hmm.
So this, hi Steph, this
Mm-hmm.
9, yes, was definitely a tough time for me. I moved a lot and had no friends.
Okay, yeah. So something like that makes sense.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look,
And
look at
there's,
that.
yeah. So somebody said, I notice having multiple past traumas that switch around and come to the surface at different times. And yeah, we all do. I mean, it's like the cool thing about life is every single thing that happens to you that you notice that comes up that you react to, anything that you react to. So it's not just blocks. It's not just I notice that I have
Mhm.
a block or I keep attracting these people. Anything that you have a reaction or a trigger to
Okay.
are these trapped emotions coming to the surface. And so, and they do come up at different times because they're triggered. It could be you looking through old photos, you know, you're looking through your storage and you're cleaning it out, or you're at a garage sale and you see something at the garage sale, and then you're like subconsciously triggered. And then that day you like go off on your mom on the phone or something, and
Yeah.
you're just like, what? I don't know. And it could be anything like that that come up at different times. And it could be a sight, a smell, um, like a
Yes.
visual, like anything. It could be you hearing something, a song, you know, anything. And then you're triggered by that. So every single one of those things are gifts. They're all gifts because don't you want to bring that to the surface rather
Yeah.
than that suppressed, and that is what's driving your car.
Wait,
That is what's creating.
Linz,
Yeah.
I want to read this that you wrote really quick. Our
Okay.
divine purpose on this earth is to be a vessel for more light and love. So if you just even think about that, our divine purpose is to be a vessel for more light and love. And if we have all these things that are trapped within us and all these things that are blocked within us, all of our meridians that are blocked and things, we don't have this flow of energy to have more light and love. We are meant to heal and release these limiting beliefs, programs, and illusions so that we could live full lives without fear and separation. We have an unlimited capacity for unconditional love, but parts of us didn't see it yet or feel like they deserved it.
Mhm.
Now's the time. Trust your heart, trust the process, trust the subconscious. So I think that's really powerful because we do have an unlimited capacity for unconditional love. But how many of us actually love
Yeah.
unconditionally, without a
Yeah.
condition, without getting something back from someone else, without loving for reason
Mhm.
other than to just love.
Yeah. Yeah, we have so many conditions
So I
for
love
unconditional.
that, Lindsay,
Oh, thanks,
that
Crystal.
you wrote. Yes. This is
um,
Lindsay's portion in the book, Root Awakening.
I think I actually rewrote that later for the retreat, and added some stuff to it. I was like, oh, I need to, but it's fine. Okay, somebody did say they wanted to see what I was doing with my hands.
Oh, I can't fucking see you, so I don't know. I'm assuming
Oh,
it's this.
you would have said it probably, but and talk about this a lot too. Is there's so many different ways to muscle test. I really need to do like a workshop and film it and like
Yeah.
post it because it's. I wish that I had. I learned how to muscle test years and years ago by my naturopath, and he showed me the sway test, and that's the way that a lot of people start,
Mm-hmm.
and that's by standing, relax your shoulders, take a deep breath, and then you train yourself. Well, you don't train yourself. First, you ask yourself, like, what is my answer for yes? And
Mm-hmm.
what is my answer? I did this at the retreat. And
Yeah.
most of the time, and not always, sometimes it's opposite for people. But most of the time, your answer for yes is you're drawn forward.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think like you're sitting in a room, somebody comes in that you're energetically attracted to, or you just want to be closer to because they're like a great person or they're great energy, or you want to give them a hug, like you lean towards that.
Yeah.
And then if somebody in the room that was like evil or dark or mean or in a bad mood, then you kind of you pull away from that. So that's like your yes is a lean forward. Your yes is my body is physically
Right.
telling me that I want this, or I want more of this, or this is me. And then vice versa, for the no. So if you can say your name, like if you said my name is Crystal, you're going to lean forward. Usually if
Right.
said my name is Lindsay, she'll go back. So you can do it by the lean test. You can hold something to your chest. If it's
Mm-hmm.
like 2 foods to see if you want that food, you can use the pendulum.
Yeah.
The pendulum is great. I think it's a pretty simple way to do muscle testing. And usually it's a circle. Is yours a circle for yes and a line for
Yeah.
no? Is that what you're?
Circle.
Yeah.
Mine's definitely a circle showing my yes.
I love using the pendulum because you can visually see, like, there's no way that if you could see the top of her hand too, like, show them the top of your hand. Like,
I can't see where I'm in frame at.
Go
Show me
down
my
a little bit
yes. Wait, what? Down?
further. Yeah. Okay. So if she's saying yes, yeah, there you go.
Show me my yes.
No, wait. Okay. Hold your top down. Hold your top down. Hold the top hand.
Down?
Yeah. There you go. There you go. That's good. Okay.
Well, I wish I could see you, Lynn. This is ridiculous. So you guys can see that's going in a circle. And my hand is not moving.
Yeah, exactly.
Show me my no.
Yeah.
It's slowing down. And it's now going in an oval.
Yeah,
and now it's starting to just swing in a straight line.
Yeah. So that's muscle testing. And I love that way because you can feel it. You can just like feel your body. And then this is the way I do it. And I know you can't see me, Crystal, but everybody else,
everybody else can see it.
Oh, when I first saw somebody doing it, I was like, hell no, no way. How can you notice the difference between yes and I'm doing this? But when you do it and practice over and over, then it's like, this is a no, which, see, this is, when I'm showing somebody else this way, it's easier for them to think that I'm actually controlling it. But for me, I know that I'm not, because I know that it's actually, that my subconscious is actually showing. And so I intentionally tap into the subconscious of the person that I'm working on. And you can do that with anybody. It's just the same if you were praying for somebody. Yeah. That's what you're doing. You're actually sitting to that person. And that's why it's really important that what you say and what you think is so important, because are you sending that positive energy or that negative energy? Are you their and that's also why it's important as an empath, which most of you out there are that are listening to these lives on Monday, to know how to stand firm in your ground, how to ground, how to be your own person, how to have your boundaries and not allow other people's energy in. So if you don't have a firm yes and no in life, if it's not a hell yes or a hell no, and I've been there, trust me, like I then you are allowing other people's energy to decipher what you do and what, who you are basically.
Yep.
And therefore, I would say that the simplest example is my mom used to be, not anymore. We've actually worked a lot. But she used to, like, if somebody asked her to do something and she was like, yes, I'll commit to that, and if it's like teach a Bible study or whatever it is. And then she ends up being angry towards them for her saying yes, basically, or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
She pays all these things, and then she doesn't do this anymore, though. Now she's like, I said, Mom, you either say yes and you're happy about it, or you
Yes.
say
Or you say no.
no and you're happy about
Yeah.
it. and
Exactly.
and now I've
Exactly.
taught her how to muscle test, because I'm like, find out what you really want. Because if you don't know right now, instead of going down that path of like back and forth and making the list and wishy-washy and indecisiveness, all that energy does is drain you. Indecisiveness and wishy-washy are actually trapped emotions. So we think that
Wow.
we're just indecisive people. No, we're not just indecisive people. There was a moment in our childhood, or it was inherited, where we had a major decision or something that we were making and we didn't know which was the better choice. And
That's my nephew.
that
That's Luch.
so we had trapped indecisiveness. So guess what? Now, as an adult, everybody thinks we're just a indecisive person, or we're wishy-washy and we can't commit. Well,
Yeah.
that's not your
But
personality. That's not who you are.
also
That's
it
just
comes from like a self-worth thing. Like,
yeah,
I'm not worthy of making a decision. I don't feel important enough to make a decision, so I'll just say I don't know. Someone
yeah,
asks you, "Hey, do you want to go here?" I don't know.
yeah,
You don't feel like
yeah.
that you're valued enough to actually make a decision.
Exactly. So, like in that case, where if you were to do what you just said, I don't know, that could be trapped unworthiness, that could be trapped pride, that could be trapped indecisiveness.
Yeah.
If you're experiencing, and I could be trapped failure too. Maybe I made a couple decisions and failed or whatever, and so now I just don't want to make a decision.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't
but
trust myself.
yeah, and so when you're manifesting, like, a partner, or like, you know, yeah, like a different job. I mean, you and I, Crystal and I have manifested so many crazy things, and I know you guys want, like, but you're here also because you want to understand how to actually shift timelines, because all that you want already exists in a higher timeline. And so it's really crazy to think that, like, we are kind of like different steps away from those timelines. And it's not that we're trapped here because we're in like hell or something, and like you did some,
Right.
like you did,
Right.
you'll never get out of it. That's the thing, is like, yes, you can, and yes, you will. And all it is finding this trauma, because that trauma is what keeps you in that sort of separation state,
Yeah.
where sometimes we feel like there's, hell present.
Mm-hmm.
We're separated from oneness. We're separated from that love. We're really not separated. We just think we are. And it's the trauma that
Right.
makes that we are. So I don't know if we like tangent. We were talking about acid.
Guys, if you want to do a session with Lindsay, just hit her up. Her let me put your thing here. It's so eye-opening. I think Lindsay's done one for every person in my family, potentially. I think. Yeah, I haven't done my brother yet because I think you'd have gray hair all over your head.
Oh.
But we did a session with my nephew, and it wasn't emotion code, but it was. Do you want to explain that other portion, Linz?
Yeah, I can do that. I have the other device because I'm actually on my phone right now.
Okay.
Is that what you want me to show people?
Just like share about the scan and
Okay.
how that works, because that's like really crazy
Yeah.
too.
This is like Star Trek stuff. I swear I remember, like, I used to think of inventions all the time when I was younger, and I'm sure a lot of you thought this too at some point in your life. But I thought, if you can walk through a a device at the airport that like scans to find anything on you. Like why? And they have X-ray machines. They have all this stuff. Like why wouldn't they have one that you could walk through and it would just tell you everything in your entire body? You know.
Yep.
And then I was like, oh, radiation. Like,
Right.
like there's so much radiation with all of those things, and I didn't realize how bad that was for you when I was younger. But the crazy thing is, if we believe in frequency, if we realize that everything, and Crystal's talked about this on her lives too, is everything has a specific frequency. So every word has a frequency, every organ has a frequency, every chromosome has a frequency, even cancers have frequency, like specific diseases have frequency, and hormones, allergies, food, bananas have a frequency. Everything has
Right.
an optimal meaning. Every banana has the same it's supposed to have the same frequency unless it's been now an original banana pulled, you know, from the tree. So I don't mean like a banana that's traveled across the world and now it's got all these hands that have touched it, all this different energy,
Right.
because but the optimal frequency of like a banana would be the same as another one. Okay. So like it's kind of like the family of that has a frequency. Your family has a frequency, and whatever you set the container for is a frequency. So your individual self has one. You have a vibration, you have a frequency that's being sent out to other people that they're experiencing, and yours might be different every day according to what's going on in your body and what's going on in your mind. So the thought and then the things you're feeling in your body, in your physical body. Now, we didn't really talk too much about this, but what you're manifesting physically in your body is all also rooted in emotional trauma. So, and that's actually how even Emotion Code was created, because he realized people were having the same injury over and over and over, but he was fixing it. So why were they coming back with the same injury? Well, there was emotional trapped trauma in that area of the body that kept them perpetually coming back to that state physically, because that body was like, this bone is broken and it's never going to get fixed, and it probably had a lot of anger or hatred or guilt or whatever trapped there that wouldn't allow the. So that's why we remove the emotion, the trauma, in order to allow the body to heal itself properly. So this is something that I found on my journey with a couple of my friends who were also doing this energy work that I'm doing. And so and then it like we found it and we're like, we created this, like like our thoughts even created this product, even because we wanted that something was out there. And so at that time somebody was actually working on this. Now there is for a lot of you who've done the research, you've probably seen something called the Rife machine. The Rife machine was, I don't even know how long it's been alive, the Rife machine, or
Around.
but but it's like I had a friend who had cancer, a young guy who had been using the Rife machine for a really long time. So what that will do, and this has like that technology in it as well, is the let's say the cancer is a certain vibration, so you can send a if you typed into this machine or you looked on in the log or whatever it was of different frequencies, then it would give you a frequency to tap into that frequency that would actually bring it back or it would bring it back to homeostasis.
I'll show you guys. This is the electroherbalism frequency list. It literally has every single disease, illness. This book is pretty big. It's pretty thick. So that's what she's talking about. And it tells you about the Rife machines, all this different stuff. Every single thing, parasites. There's a million different kind of parasites listed in here. They all have their own frequency that you can literally tap into. And then, I guess, would you say alchemize them, Linz?
Yeah. So the purpose is to bring your body back to homeostasis. So if let's say your liver has an optimal frequency, but it is like your liver shows up on your scan, which I'm about to show you guys in a minute, then is out of range. Okay. So it's either a chronic issue or not, but it's like it's a low or high vibration maybe, but it's detecting that it's not at its homeostasis state. It's not as an
Mhm.
optimal state for like what it's meant to do, for what God created the liver to do. So then you can like this software will actually like send frequencies to the liver to try to get that vibration to slow down or speed up
Mhm.
how it's functioning so that it can be at its homeostasis state. So that's why I love this. And I'm going to show you. I have a device because this software actually used to be on a really big machine and it was $40,000.
Wow.
So naturopaths started buying it because they're like, this is incredible. Like the
Yeah.
fact that show you all this stuff as if you were getting a blood test, an MRI, an X-ray, and a CAT scan all in one, and
Wow.
all the results show up in just a couple of minutes, and it's all based on frequency, so it's real time. A blood
Right.
test, they have to prick your arm, and a lot of people out there are probably like, God, I hate blood tests, so this would be
Yeah.
awesome. Like they take the blood out of your body, and so it's already changed. The blood comes out of your body, the blood spins in a thing, and then they send it off to a lab. Then they
Yep.
do run all these tests on it, and it's literally not even the same blood. And they may say, oh, you're allergic to gluten. Well, that was probably when you had gluten that day. Your body's like, yeah, I don't like this stuff. It's not good for me or whatever, as most of
Yeah.
us can't do processed flour anyways in this country. So it
Yeah.
was like, it was like that showed up, but that was back when they took your blood out. Or like my mom, it showed up beef for her, and that was back when they took their blood out. So, or her blood out of her body and changed it, and sent it off.
Yeah.
So it's not allergic to that. It's just like she might have had it that day.
Yeah.
So that's what I do is you are doing a scan based on your voice and your quantum fingerprint, which is a lot like emotion code and body code, and you're finding out real time what's out of range. There may even be things that show up on there that you're like, oh, that's weird. I haven't like ever felt that in my body, or I had no clue that that was a thing for
Yep.
me, or I haven't eaten that in a long time. But it's just picking up on the frequency. So, oh, this is another crazy thing that really ties in the whole manifesting is that one time I did a scan on someone and bed bugs showed up.
Oh my
And
God.
yeah, she's like freaking out because she's like, oh my God, I hate bed bugs. I obsess about that. Like every sheet in our house, like I clean them all the time and whatever, just to like make sure they don't have them. Because one time she did
Mhm.
at a hotel like years ago. Like this had been so long ago, but the frequency showed up for her, and I was like, okay, well, think about this. You're obsessing about bed bugs constantly. So the frequency is present whether
Yep.
or not bugs are actually there, because it's not going to say, oh, there's bed bugs inside of you. It's just showing up bed bugs because you either have them and you don't know it. So
Mhm.
the frequencies, or you think about them all the time. So it
Right.
even taps into a lot of what you're feeling and thinking in the body, because that's all frequency and energy too. Your
Mhm.
brain does not between actual reality and its own thoughts. And I know you talk about that all the time, but this is
Yeah.
where it connects. Like for
That's
me, this is where it goes
crazy.
to. Yeah. So
Like, what are the odds of bed bugs coming up on someone's scan that obsesses about bed bugs,
yeah,
unless
yeah.
it really is that frequency?
And to me, actually, when I did a scan the other day, and I was trying to decide if I wanted to buy like, oh no, it was I did a scan right after somebody said something about papaya. And I was thinking about papaya, and I'm like, oh, I love papaya. I haven't had that forever. I need some. But it was like, I can't remember where I saw it or heard it, but I just heard it, and it showed up on my scan right after that. So,
Wow.
like, when things happen, and it showed up as like an allergy. And so I was like, oh, well, good thing I didn't eat it, but I thought about it. And
Right.
my body was like almost like reacting. So I wonder too, this makes me wonder if like, um people who obsess over gluten, because I did for a really long time, like I'm like I can't, but I thought about it all the time. I thought like, how
Yep.
can I get from it, right? And I wonder sometimes if people have reactions to things just by obsessing over something.
Yeah.
And it's possible because your body, again, it doesn't know the difference. So getting to like, I'm showing you guys. So the mobile device was this was the first mobile device of this company that came out after the big $40,000 machine. And it was crazy because like I was like, that's all it was less than a cell phone. Like it was like $500 for this thing, and then you pay for the software like monthly to be connected to the database and everything else, and they're constantly like updates and adding things and changing it, and it's like incredible. So I'll show you like one of the end results of mine, and then but the crazy thing is now you actually don't have to have the device if you don't want it. You could have a dedicated device like a cell phone or an iPad like that. Use an old one, and as long as it's pretty, like there's not a lot of other stuff on there because it's using some processing from your phone. But sometimes I just click on the app on my cell phone if I'm out somewhere and I'm like, let me show you this party trick, you know, because
Yeah, exactly.
like freaking Star Trek. It's
Yeah.
so cool. And I know there's other things out there, like there's like the Healy that a lot of people have and talk about. And I don't know if anybody's mentioned it today, but I'm sure somebody out
They
there
were
has.
talking about the Healy.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with the Healy. The Healy, like they've done a lot of comparisons, and of course people spend a lot of money on that too, because
Yeah.
you don't ever want to, oh, the Healy sucks, because you know, I'm never going to say that. I think it's got a lot of great things and great qualities too. The fact that you can use this software on any device, I love that, because to me it's affordable for people to have in their own homes, you know,
How
and
much
to have wherever you,
is the cell phone one, Linz?
huh?
How much is it to have it just on your cell phone?
It's $149 a month for the subscription. Yeah.
And what do
So
you charge like for a session for people for this scan?
for the scan, 55 for the scan. But if you do an intro, a motion code, body code, because they go so well together, I always free AO scan if you want that. So
People are really quick before you continue. People are asking what you charge for your sessions for motion code.
the intro session is 111 right now, and they're actually, I think, about to go up. But if you're ever on a live or you're at one of our retreats, I'll always offer the retreat special. And that's if you guys message me, I'll send you my link, and private message me, and I always check like the private request if we're not friends yet. So I will check that today after this. And I will send you the link, and you would click on, and I'll tell you, but you'll click on retreat special, just because like you guys are here to heal and to learn. And I feel like so many of you are healers.
Yeah.
And you may want to like go through some of these certifications that I've done yourself. But also I think, and Crystal and I have kind of talked about doing workshops.
Yeah.
So we may be offering something like that where you can actually learn some of these things, and you wouldn't be a certified whatever through us, but you can learn how to do some of this stuff for your own self and your own family. Mobile device that I'm just showing you on my mobile device that you don't actually have to have anymore. Now, I do love this device. It's really old and bulky, but I love it because it has like EMF blockers and stuff like, and you cannot just like almost like military grade is what they called it for a long time. So once I do the scan, then there's a couple of different scans you can do. The one that I do a lot is just the easy scan. I do it like maybe twice a day sometimes, because regardless of if I look at it, even if I don't look at my report, it has already sent me in the scan optimizing frequencies for what I need most. So like, go ahead.
It will kind of clear those energies. Is that what you're saying?
Not everything, because it's a very gentle, like it's not like in one scan it will bring your cancer to homeostasis and clear it completely. But subtle things that it can do, and usually it's doing exactly what I'm doing in a session by trying to get to the root of those things. So if it notices that there's actually like a broken bone in your body that you didn't even know you had, that might be like a tiny, tiny little bone, it may pull that up and start to try to optimize that. But that's actually what's swelling in the ankle. You know, so this is why, and this is another reason why this goes hand in hand also with the patches,
Yeah.
which I love how they work together. And that's why you and I do what we do is like we have all these little puzzle pieces that connecting them together is going to be like changing the
Yeah.
world literally.
Yeah.
Like shifting our frequency, people, through like we're shifting us to a higher timeline. We're also, and all of you guys out there are sort of on our team
Yeah.
because we're all collectively, and now that we have all these amazing tools, we're able to shift together faster
Yeah.
and higher and and more fun. I mean, we're just gonna have fun, really.
You can use these for animals too, right? This
Yes,
device.
yes. So
That's amazing.
can do emotion code and body code on pets, on any animal. You can also use the scan. And so like, I'll show you in a second, but like if I were to click a certain thing then on here, then I can actually scan my dog. And it shows up
Love it.
on animals. It'll show up chakras because animals have
Oh.
chakras. Yeah, chakras. So like, it's so crazy, Crystal, because they have like a nose chakra and a tail chakra, and they
Oh
have
my
like,
God.
it's so cute, and it'll
I
show up
love it.
body, and then it'll show the different chakras, and it'll show which ones are out of alignment. And then most of the time, any chakras that are out of alignment, the scan will bring those back to homeostasis. Almost every single time I scan on somebody, if they had like crown, heart, and root chakra out of balance, it'll
Yeah.
shift. And then most of the time, it's able to shift meridians too,
Wow.
because these are like points, and those are very, very vital to how we live our life, like our chakras and meridians that people are so unaware of, right? And
Yeah.
you go to a specialist who can find this meridian that's off of the chakra and like rebalance it for you. But that's why like having something like this that you can do every day and just speak into it for 10 seconds, and then it like balances your chakras and meridians. I mean, come on, like that's
Yeah.
pretty awesome. And
Yeah.
I'll couple it too because I think meditation is so important. And so what I'll do, I'm gonna just kind of run it through some like really quick what it would look like. So your information would be in here, and it would be like your name, weight, height, birthday, and your picture. Okay. So like if you guys do a session with me or something like that, like I would put that information in here. And that has your quantum fingerprint now. Like this is only on my like database. Once I run the scan on you and email you the results, I don't have that information anymore. That information is on somebody else's database. Like it goes to you, and then the next time I do a scan, like it's gone.
Right.
So there's no like anybody's taking this information. And I will say the people of this company, like I have personally met them many, many times, just like you have with
wow. Yeah.
did something
Yeah.
happen?
No.
Okay. So yeah, somebody said something about Tesla, and the guy who created this, like combined like Rife and Tesla and all this other stuff to find out what these frequencies are and to be able to detect it like through your voice and your quantum fingerprint. And it's wildly accurate. Crystal can attest
Yep.
to that. Like it's crazy accurate with
When I
muscles.
did the scan at the retreat, my right hamstring came up. I had a high hamstring tear from probably 17, 18 years ago, and it still came up because it still bothers me to this day.
Yeah.
And I was just like, holy shit, like this is so crazy because it's just so random. It was like literally all the way up in the high hamstring, and it was bothering me that day. And it was just like crazy. Even the emotional things that came up during my retreat that were ridiculously accurate. It was crazy.
Yeah. So it's just wild. Like what comes up for people. It's so crazy. But okay, so I was just reading what some other people were saying. So once you have your information in this, like I said, it doesn't go anywhere else. Like it just stays in your email once you have it. And I have the information in my database, but the information's not going because I know we're all kind of weird about that stuff.
Yeah.
Say like I've hugged like the owners of this company, and they are real people. They're not like they're not a corporation.
Corporate something like
it's like real amazing people with huge hearts. Like when the owner of this company like gets on stage and starts talking about this technology, he cries like every time.
Oh my God.
It's amazing. It's like how real and how amazing this is, and that we all have access to it now. And that's what he wants. And he's like, he believes in shifting our frequency. And even like, you know, the political stuff we can get into and like the elite and whatever, like he's fully aware of all of that. And so it's so cool that the owners of this company are so aware of all of that stuff. And they have a tool that they've created so that we can optimize our light, right? Basically become more of a vessel of light and love for the entire universe. And
I love it.
And heal our bodies, you know?
Yeah.
And that's a byproduct, right? It's just our physical bodies are going to feel less and less pain too. So once you're in the system, like I said, I do the easy scan a lot because it combines like a bunch of the different scans that we have, like vitals and comprehensive and the voice scan. And so the reports are going to look different. You can get a classic report or you can do an enhanced one. I'll explain all of that stuff to you if you do a scan with me, but I want to show you quickly what the results look like. Okay. Now, there's so many other things this can do. This is just like the basic one. If I told you that we had a thing on here that's actually for dentists to use, like dentists, I have a dentist friend that's a biological dentist and he has one of these. And he has this
amazing.
Uses it on patients so he can run their frequency instead of using radiation on their body. And there's also a thermometer, I think is what it's called, but it's like a therma something. You know, where now you don't have to get like mammograms and stuff anymore. Like you can read stuff. Well, this has ability too. You have to get extra certification for those things to use them, but they're on here. So like if you are a dentist, if you are somebody who can do that, like check for breast cancer or whatever through the therma, well, I cannot think. You can get certifications to be able to use this technology through frequency and use it for that. I mean, I had actually Richard, our friend, he was doing, he bought it like a couple days ago and he was just doing scans on his like veterinarian and stuff like that. And they were like, oh my gosh, we could use this for all of our pets, you know, and help.
Wow.
And so maybe eventually hospitals, but I doubt it.
Yeah, exactly. It's too cheap, Linz. I'm sorry.
All right. So I'm just going to run through, but like I've given my dog all of her snacks to keep her quiet.
Willow's at her capacity, and so is Leo.
Willow is like, too early.
We're about at the hour mark anyway, Lynn, so I kind of like to leave it at an hour so people are like, oh, I'm not watching this, too long.
Really fast, and then we'll. So this is like kind of like the results that I got in mind. Now, go get your toy. One of the things is, get your blue monkey. Go get it. Go get it. It's right there. Okay. So one of the things, it'll give you sounds to listen to. And these sounds you'll get in your email, and you can put your headphones in and listen to this 4 sounds. Now that's going to help with your brain too. So it kind of balances everything out. Okay. Your brain and your nervous, calming your nervous system and all of that. Okay. I've got her in the headlock. And the other thing that it does that is so freaking amazing, if you're somebody who has ever had homeopathic medicine or remedies, okay, homeopathic medicine is those like little bottles like that you can get at the natural health food store usually, and they're like white pellets. Okay, I don't know if you guys knew this. Maybe you did. I didn't when I got, but those are sugar pellets that they basically have put frequency into that. Okay, so they've put, say you get one for a migraine, then they have a specific frequency for that. And so then they'll tell you 5 or 6 pellets if it's PMS or whatever it is. Okay. So this software has all of those in its library. It has every single, and so what's the one you take, Crystal, that I said was in here that you gave me that day?
Carbo Veg.
Okay. Yeah. So that's in here. So you could make your own Carbo Veg. Like you could play that frequency into a thing of sugar pills and you can make your own with
That's insane.
Otherwise, what you could do is do your scan and see what it brings up for you. So if you guys see all of those and you see the orange button where it says imprint, those are all homeopathic frequencies, okay? And where it says imprint, all I have to do is take the patch, like something that can hold frequency, your LifeWave patch, or like that you're going to put on that day. Or you can take a glass of water if it's later on in the day and you already have your patch on. You could take a glass of water, put it right above your phone or software, or whatever, hit imprint, 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 imprint on all those homeopathic remedies, and I have my medicine for the day. Like, of course, there might be
Amazing.
things that you need to take, but also I put my vitamin library in here. So if I need anything from my vitamins, like the sea moss or probiotic or whatever, my stuff's in there too. So that will pop up for that day. Now there may be things you take every day, like your probiotic or whatever. But if you have a huge medicine cabinet of all your things that you don't have to take on a daily basis, because guess what? You don't really need all of those things every day.
Right.
I would spend hundreds of dollars a month. Lots of money a month. All of the supplements that I thought that I needed. Basically what I take is I take my cell salts every day and my probiotic every day. And then there's something you gave me the other day that I take that I can't remember which one it was. And then and and then I take like those 3 things every day, and then I do my scan, and anything else that pops up, if it's like vitamin C or something, I'll take that day because that's what I need that day.
Wow.
But I spend now hundreds and thousands of dollars a month on all this stuff, or I'll have it there when I need it.
Yeah.
And then I'll imprint all of those frequencies into my patch or into the water, drink the water, and that's my homeopathic medicine for the day, which is awesome. Or for
amazing.
Then you'll go through, and there's going to be all of, like, on mine you're going to see double red, and it's because on the email you'll see what it did shift to green, meaning it shifted it shifted some stuff from out of alignment into alignment with frequency. This was just showing me double red of the stuff that I need to look a little bit deeper into. So like black walnut came up, which I think is in like a respiratory thing that I take, or a parasite cleanse thing. Nutmeg showed up, which is now in everything in the fall. So of course that's going to show up. Like raspberry, I just made raspberry Freons the other day. They're kind of like muffins or whatever. And of course raspberry showed up. I'm like, dang it. But it's okay. And then like spinach, and I had spinach. Okay. So all of that showed up. It showed to where I had a couple of chakras that were off. And so here's like the way that looks. And if you zoom in, you can see what the chakras are. You can see like, I don't know if there's kind of a glare. There we go. It shows like what the chakras are. And on this side, but the first scan that it took, it showed these chakras were out of range at that moment and during my day because of whatever happened, right? And then it shifted them to green, meaning it's now my chakras are aligned for the day. And I could do another scan later or whatever just to see. But and then you can go down and it actually describes the chakras. It tells you what emotions are associated with them. It tells you what physical issues are associated with them and everything else. And then you go to like, and then it shows you all of your meridians. Y'all, this is insane. Like this technology, this type of technology is nowhere else out there, which is why I was sold the day I found out about it. I'm like, this is insane. I like love it. It shows you all the meridians, and it shows you the ones that were low and high, so blue and red, and the ones that it did shift. And then it may show me a double. Cool. And that one is my heart chakra. And that day, I think I did this one yesterday. I did have a lot like going on in my heart. I may have had some caffeine, I think, or something. And I had something happen that was dealing with my heart, emotionally.
And the eclipse, Lynn's, was 2 days ago, so it's a lot of that energy moving through.
That's true. So then you can scroll through that, and it's got all of the chakras. It tells you what each one. So if you find any of them that are like out of range, you can go through and check the physical emotions or the physical and the emotional that's associated with that meridian. So it's like you know exactly what to do for yourself that day and how to support yourself the best and know that it's actually helping you. But then you'll get down to like, um, it's got macro minerals, vitamins, pH balance, if you're pH or not,
Mm-hmm.
cardiovascular, collagen index, allergy and pollen, fungus, heavy metals, molds, parasites, viruses. Not that they really exist, but you know,
Yeah.
they have a frequency in your mind anyway. So,
Right.
and then so muscles, right? So this day, my shoulder, like I actually went to the chiropractor this day, like right after this, because I was hurting in this area right here. And
Mm-hmm.
exactly the spot that I was hurting. And then my
It's
left
crazy.
eye, my left eye showed up because it was probably strained from the videos or something that I was doing. But so all kinds of stuff like that's going to show up on the scan, and then it's helping you be more aware of it and also optimize it. And this also has the capabilities of like sending frequencies. So not only is it your homeopathic like recommendations for that day that it will give you, your sound therapy, it does color therapy, it does Cephi, which Cephi is subtle energy frequency imprinter. You can imprint
Wow.
any your necklaces, your crystals, your
I
whatever
love it.
patches with any frequency you want. And honestly, a lot of times I like, let's say I'm working that day and I'm like calling people for business or something, and I play abundance, success, and frequency, or abundance and success frequencies like all day.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I'm flying on an airplane that day, I'll play myself all of the immune, strengthen, rest, oxygen. Like I will play
Yep.
my all of the frequencies to keep my immune system high while I'm traveling that day, and abundance and everything.
Wow.
It's insane how much you attract, positive you attract, and how much you're protecting yourself just by playing this stuff in the background when you're not consciously aware and thinking of it, because you've got stuff to do. Like you
Yeah.
still have to live your day.
Yeah.
You know, you
Exactly.
can't constantly be in a meditative state. You can't constantly be like, oh, I'm trying to manifest this day, but you can play the frequencies. And not only that, for yourself, you can do it for your pet, you can do it for your home, you can do it for your business. Again, it's just setting a container. Now, the last thing I want to
Yep.
show you before we get off, because Crystal, you don't even know about this yet. This is
Okay.
they just started doing like the day we left the retreat, and I haven't even got a chance to tell you. And it's exactly what you and Jen were talking about. Do you remember Jen said there's an app that you can record your voice,
Yes.
you can record your own affirmations in your voice and then play it back to you? And I was
Yeah.
like, what's that app? The next day I left and they had put that on the device. I kid you
That's
not.
crazy.
So now it's called AO MindSync at the bottom, and you click on it and it goes to custom. You can do a custom affirmation and record it
Oh my God.
in your own voice, or you can hit you can hit I am affirmations, health affirmations, memory, morning affirmations, positive. And then when you hit play, it gives you affirmations to say.
Wow.
So you're recording your voice saying those affirmations. Then you can even put a song behind it. And then it emails you the MP3. So
Okay.
you,
We'll take it.
huh?
I said we'll take it.
Isn't that crazy? Like
That's amazing.
latest that they've done, because they said exactly what you guys did at the retreat.
Yep.
How important, Rodney said it too, how
Yep.
important it is not just to hear affirmations
For your own
from
voice.
like YouTube, but to hear it in your own voice. So I can record whatever I want every single day and now listen to myself saying it, like as I
Amazing.
sleep or whatever. Y'all, this technology is shifting everything.
It's so, Lynn, so some people were asking what it's called. It's the AO scan, right?
This technology is called the AO scan. And if you
But guys,
want,
if you guys want information, like reach out to Lindsay. She'll tell you all about
Yeah.
it. She'll tell you how to get started on it. It's $149 a month
Yeah.
to have the software.
yeah,
And,
and there's a
you can literally do sessions for 3 people and make that money back. I mean, this is like crazy.
yes, like you can chart, like you don't have to be like have any certification or whatever to
That's
actually like
incredible.
put on your friends
I got
and
to
family.
get it, Linz.
I know.
Maybe we'll do it today.
No, you will. But so you've got like you can do it on your friends and family. I did it for free on my friends and family all the time because of course I love them. I want to support them, right? And this is a
Yeah.
way for a lot of but for clients and things like that, if they're doing another emotion code session, of course, I just want to say, hey, this is a really cool thing that I want to do. And it's going to help this session go even deeper.
Yeah.
But they usually,
So cool.
after I do this, will have it because they want to have it for their own family. And I have a friend got like 5 kids. And she's like, we don't have health insurance because I don't really believe in all of that.
Yeah.
And she the doctor anyway. We just have an account where we save money if we ever need it, right? For the doctor or something, because you're just giving money away every month. And I get the whole situation thing. But she said, this is what she goes, we would be spending $5,000 a month or whatever on insurance, which is insane, like for their family, or $1,000 or $2,000. She goes, I could pay $150 a month and have this, and then I know what's going on in all of our bodies,
everything,
every single day. And I'm about to get her on like the Life Wave too, because to me that's just like the extra, like,
oh yeah,
that's actually physically doing it on your body, you know. And so it's that extra like emphasis on this is what we want to focus on today and fix, you know, and help. And I've noticed a huge with those two, like with my knee, huge difference.
Yeah.
So with
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so incredible. But anyways, yeah, so for her, like that's really affordable. For people who want to even start a little side business and help raise people's frequency, you could, if you charge $55 a month for a scan, which is cheaper than a blood test.
Yeah.
And you kind of were able to explain, and I could teach you how to do that. And there's videos to watch, like explain what they're looking at and what it's doing for their body.
Yeah.
Frequency wise, then you can easily do 3 scans a month and pay for yours, right?
Yeah.
There's other for free too, because if people had your link and they signed up, like I think off of their monthly, the way the company said it is you basically get like a third of that, which is, or no, like 40%.
Wow.
So it's crazy. Like then you, I think you end up making, like, for people who have your link that actually want to get the software, then you're making a commission off of that too. So there's ways to do it, to have it for free. I've bought it for people before who I want them to do this, and just like, I feel like this is beneficial for you. I'm going to get your first month or whatever, you know, because it's like a family,
really nice.
Yeah, family member that I think it's not only going to help them, but they can start their own business, and then they end up paying for it themselves, like so quickly after. And again, that's secondary. That's all like the business side of it that like you don't have to be involved in at all. But the reason why the company designed it that way is that so that not all of the money from this stuff is going to a corporate thing, and they're sharing the wealth with everybody else. And they wanted you to be able to like have it to use in your business. Like if you're a massage therapist, if you're a biological dentist, if you are some kind of like Reiki master or whatever, like
you can use this in so many different areas and avenues.
If you're an empath, so you're in this world to heal. You could be like a hairstylist or a painter. It doesn't matter. Like through your art, you are probably also a person that attracts people. Like somebody was saying, they attract people who are, well, it's because you're a healer. Like you're not here just to heal yourself. You know, like through your healing, you're also healing others. So there's a lot of details to it, but like the main, you don't have to buy the $500 device anymore, you know, which is great. You can, if you want, still buy it, which has got EMF blocker and all this stuff. It doesn't look like this anymore though. It looks more like this is like the OG. Looks more like an iPhone, you know. And it's still cheaper than an iPhone, honestly. I would get that before I'd buy a new iPhone, because it's got stuff, the technology on it, and you can still use it as a phone if you wanted. Like I could use this as a phone actually. So if like my phone ever crashes, You better believe I'm going to be using this thing. I'll be the only person.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Yes. We gotta wrap up because I have a call with Gary that was supposed to be like 10 or 20 minutes ago.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I'll tell Gary. But if you guys want information, make sure you reach out to Lindsay. Her thing is pinned here. I'll pin it in the caption when I post this, and get in touch with her. I mean, it's crazy and it's amazing. And we're here to teach people how to heal and rebalance themselves in every single way.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you so much, Crystal, for having me.
Yes, I love you.
I love you too.
I'll text you in a little bit, Lindsay, and we'll see if we can get on a call today.
Okay, that sounds good. Bye,
Love
everybody,
you.
guys.
Bye.
Message me, okay? And I'll answer any question. And yeah.
Sounds good.
All right.
Love
Bye.
you.
Love you.
Bye. I wish I could have seen Lindsay. I didn't see her for 1 second on this live. Guys, so again, reach out to Lindsay. I think that was so informational, so cool. My sister-in-law is going to actually get the app too because she wants to be able to start helping people. And, you know, it's something that you don't have to be certified for, but you can get information to learn more about everything. And it's just amazing and so freaking affordable. And I think that this is the future in healing and rebalancing. So if you guys want more information, go to root_awakening_wellness and she'll get back to you. And hopefully I intend that was very, very helpful. Have an amazing Monday and let's conquer this fucking matrix together.